Aloha there, and we're back to video game news. Now, it's been a while since I've been looking through video game news in Vice, and there were some articles that are interesting, especially the authors like Patrick Helpick and the Activision Union articles, especially related to video game union and all that issues. Not just when it comes to Activision, but several things. That's the reason why I have him here. But what really dawns on me that every time I look through each author and me looking at what they made really puts some focus on looking at other video game articles from different sites. I already did that with the initial ones with IGN and Kotaku and others. Branched out to Vice just because they have interesting articles that have more sense. But I could even go to other sites. So one I'm actually going to look at to actually see if they have any articles related to video games is good old AP News. Now, I'm not sure if they have much of a video game section, but it doesn't hurt to try. So let's see under video games. NFL partners with Mythical Games for blockchain-enabled games. Yeah, this was the 25th. So a while back, along with the 23rd, video game workers create First Union, the big U.S. game maker, Activision Blizzard. That's related to what we looked at. So yeah, they have that. Now, one that I could just search up is NPR, because they also make tons of articles in the daily. So let's see if they have a. Come on. Alright, video game industry innovates with new types of consoles as utilization drives continue. But another thing I'm also looking at is, some commonalities. So it seems like the news when it comes to unions and such is a really big topic. So you had AP, NPR, Vice talking about it, and IGN, they should definitely have it. I mean, let's look at current news. Trending news, latest news. Oh, let's see. This was okay. This should be a bit ago. And yeah, another reason why I've been looking more into specific video game news in these reputable news outlets is because with the typical ones for video games, they don't just focus on just video games. They also talk about many things related to entertainment and such. I mean, I guess that would be the thing that drives people to and away to video game news related stuff. It's all combined with other forms of entertainment, especially when it comes to anime, TV shows, cartoons, and mixing it up all in one jazz. So, yeah. I could even say that I like looking at video game news in other traditional outlets is because they focus on particular things on just video games itself, not just entertainment itself. Especially the whole union news. So glad to see that much of other outlets have. I mean, any chance, let me actually look at. I wonder if this actually comes up. Especially with what they've been talking about a lot when it came to Israel and Palestinian relationships. Good old Al Jazeera. Oh my god. It didn't freaking pop. Come on. Okay, I just search it up here. Huh. Wait, did I actually... Oh man. I thought I actually will point out of film, point to me the exact direction, but oh well. Just should have got rid of that location onwards. But yeah, I mean, let's see if they have anything related to video games. Okay. And the last one posted is, oh shoot, okay, February 17, 2021. Now, this is a bunch of random stuff. Because what is it? April 3rd, 2013. Jesus, that was a while ago. Chinese patriotic video games failed to excite science and technology. Well, that's a way, way different story now, because now they're just negating any foreign video games into the country, even when it comes to Chinese-based games like from Tencent. But that's the case. But they actually have other things. Hell, they even have their own section for Ukraine war. But looking at everything, let's look at more coronavirus, climate crisis investigations in pictures. Actually, let me actually look at that to see what it is. Oh, okay. So it is actually default pictures on articles that will show. That's interesting. But when it comes to video games, no, not much of a focus. I figured since I am searching up a bunch of articles, especially Al Jazeera, I as well go to the BBC. Let's see what else they have to talk about. Probably not much, but come on. Do. Yeah, I'm pretty stuck. Same here. 11th of May, 31st March, 17th of May. Yeah, it's all over the place. I mean, seeing that they probably don't have a big selection. Like, there's culture, music, TV, which TV is a separate category when it comes to, what is it, media. So, I mean, same with which. You have Vice, AP, NPR. There's another news outlets. After all, I could go to RT or most famously Moscow Today. But from being on the bush, when it comes to video games related, there's a reason why IGN, Kotaku, even sometimes The Verge, still talk about that as a daily basis. It's just being muddled when it comes to so much media related to it. Makes me just wonder, is this important enough or not? And, or I guess that I want to talk a lot more about news than just one specific things. Because, going through Vice and going through all these sections, it's just very typical. Because, I mean, there's a bunch of other topics, like I did with Wiki Reads, with just talking about so many other things relating to what's going on in the world. So, yeah. Alright. That's the case. Let's go to Waypoint and let's just browse around. Because, what is it? Hardship Shipwrecker, yeah, the latest came out. Why do people still care about Duke Nukem Forever so much? 4 days ago. And it's so interesting because, yeah, these articles are fairly recent. So they don't daily come out. Probably just weekly. Which, that's the case because there is regular outlets I would read daily because they would upload new articles daily because they're big organizations like AP, because that's existed for a very long time. And then there's other ones like Moscow and Times where it's would be read weekly just because they don't pop up many articles. So reading weekly means that I get a fresh batch of articles and just read it out next week. So a next batch comes in. So yeah, I figured that would be the case for Vice Gaming, several other things. It just comes to the territory. Yeah, looking through everything. Yeah, Waypoint Radio, advertising their own um, media and such. Yeah. Michael Mann's LA Takedown is just a rough draft for Heat. I did forget, Heat is such a good movie, so why not just follow it and get some inspiration? It's something to be so admirable about, especially such a good movie. Gamers learn by appearance of Shrek 5 in their Steam libraries. Yeah, I read that. And man, all these other articles. Let's fast a bit forward to see even a bit more. Unity made a dogfight simulation for the Air Force's Kill Chain branch. Newly released documents provide new insights into what specifically Unity has developed for military agencies. Oh, this is a random thing. And dogfight simulation that will refer to aircrafts fighting, not animals. Sony paid billions for Bungie and Destiny, but what are they buying? That is the question. But yeah. They still pump up articles. I could look at other past articles, but whether there's which, news still comes. It just comes later. So, that said, I'll just read some video game news from time to time, so I can focus on other things. But yeah, Patrick Hilpick. This is from him. This is from Joseph Cox. Now, since I already teased with AP and NPR, I figure I'll just read video game news from them. So yeah, NFL partners with Pentic Games. This is May 25th. Video Game Workers create first union. I already read that. FIFA takes on EA Sports video games and soccer new rivalry. EA Sports and FIFA end partnership. Both iNeo Games. Sony's profit surges on a healthy film, game, and music growth. Alright, Nintendo. Miss Pac-Man's clear. Video Game Workers Call of Duty. State lawyer alleges new film intervention in Activision lawsuit. So yeah, this is related to the game, but more into the economy, business, and financial side, and all that dips and turns. So you can sense the vibe of when they talk about video games, they don't talk about the video games themselves, but businesses around it and influence. So I figured it works best just me reading this article from Yuri Kagayami. And for NPR, let's just pick one other article from here. Video game industry innovates with new titles, consoles, and unionization drives continue. Got that. Activision Blizzard union vote could signal a big change in the video game world. In major video game company first, Activision and Blizzard employees are joining a union. And Evil Dead has added a video game to the cult classic horror franchise. This is from Here and Now, their topic from NPR, how video game social networks radicalize, what to do if you can't find baby formula. Okay. A 12-year-old girl takes on the video game industry. Update. And this is continuing article, so it's not by itself. And the other ones, it's just articles we just read up. Video games could help treat cognitive disorders like depression and ADHD, and part of the reason people love video games Elden Ring is because it's so hard to play. Yeah, research explored unlikely treatment to cognitive disorders, video games. Decorating Splinter, Usain Bolt shares the secret to success, video games. And GameStop stock is on fire once again, and here's why. And then so other articles come in. Related to, well, a lot more diversity when it comes to not just business, financial, but also when it comes to the science, health, and even entertainment. So yeah, on these realms of game and humor, technology, planet money, their own section. Yeah. So Vice promotes the podcast. Well, granted, also NPR promotes their playing radio whenever and whenever. And yeah, I have video article. So I am interested in reading this one on the technology section. Alrighty. Let's go back to the AP1. Sony's profit surges on healthy film, game, and music growth by Yumi Kagamoto in May 10th, 2022. Tokyo. Sony's fiscal fourth quarter surged 67% to 101.1 billion yen, 852.7 million from the previous year, as the Japanese entertainment and electronics company racked up profits in video games and movies divisions. Tokyo-based Sony's Corp's January and March quarterly sales edged up 1% of 2.2 trillion yen, 17 billion, and its music operations also did well, boosted by the popularity of streaming services, the company said Tuesday. For the full fiscal year ended in March, Sony racked up a profit of 882 billion yen, 6.8 billion, down 14% despite the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, which contributed to theatrical revenue. Sales in the TV division also grew from the licensing income of Seinfeld and other titles, Sony said. Seinfeld, the actual TV show. Because a show that was made in 1989 is still being loved till today. Our dear oh Lord 2022. Sony CFO Hikori Tokoki told reporters income from movie theaters was returned lately to levels record prior to the coronavirus pandemic, which brought on restrictions around the world to curb the spread of infections. By reshaping its product lineup, profits improved the TVs and digital cameras, overcoming supply challenges that come from the disruptions brought on by COVID-19. Totoki said, but several months may be needed to get over the new supply problems stemming from the recent restrictions in China. He added, the reversal of a previous write-down of deferred tax assets last fiscal year also helped send the latest annual profit lower due to the absence of the tax reduction perk. Sales from the fiscal year through March 2023 are expected to benefit from the decline in yen that will come on top of the expected growth in content sales. The dollar was trading at 116 yen, up from nearly 106 yen from previous year, according to Sony. So we're also boosted to Sony's acquisition of Crunchyroll with streams animation. Sony has also recently been banking on the metaverse, the immersed virtual world where it faces rivals like Facebook or Meta. The thing about dealing with your body feeling like it's gonna fail you is like you can't even breathe properly. But patience. So don't mind me if I fall over. Well, at least I'm giving off a good show. Sony, which also makes TVs and portable digital music players, expect to post a profit of 830 billion yen, 6.4 billion for the fiscal year through March 2023. Yuri Kagayami is on Twitter. Yeah. And yeah, that shows what is going on in Sony today. Alright. And how, yeah, they're reaching a good profit lately, Sony has also got Morbius. That's a movie that is bringing up the big bucks and good recognition with Sony. But anywho, hmm, them also having a good movie brand like the Uncharted movie that came up, that shows like they're also competing. Alrighty, now there's this one. Video games could help treat cognitive disorders like depression, ADHD. From April 28th, 2022. Oh, it's a 4-minute list. But anyway, let me read this out so you could get the sense where I'm coming from. And maybe reading it, you'll see how another person reads it can enlighten some other people, especially their days. I hope. Researchers are turning to an unexpected treatment for cognitive disorders, video games. Now here's the transcript from Rod Schitsmith's host. Video games can amuse or distract, sometimes inspire, which means they engage the brain with tasks. Some researchers are hoping video games could help treat cognitive disorders from depression and ADHD to mental decline from aging. Keller Gordon reported about this for NPR.org. Welcome, Keller. Keller Gordon, writing. Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me. Schmitz. Kelly, you start by describing a video game developed at a lab at the University of Utah. Tell us about that. Gordon. Yeah, so this isn't a game you get on the App Store or PlayStation or anything like that. It's from a federally funded nonprofit lab that makes games dedicated to treating cognitive disorders, mostly those in the aging brains. I spoke with Dr. Sarah Mortimoto, who runs this program called NeuroGrow. It doesn't exactly look like a normal video game. You've got a basic colorful screen, and you might have to complete certain tasks, like watering a flower with a certain color watering before time runs out. It got a pretty rudimentary design, but it challenges a patient's memory and reaction time, and it's not supposed to be fun. It's therapy, but Dr. Morimoto thinks the results are promising. So Morimoto, I definitely feel like the science has greatly advanced by working with video games researchers and designers. Schmitz. So Keller, that's the researcher. What do her patients say? What did you hear from them? Gordon. Yeah, I spoke with Pete and Pam Stevens about their experience using the NeuroGrow program. Pam had suffered a stroke in 2014 and wasn't responsible. In medication, her neurologist gave them a pretty grim prognosis. Prognosis. Yeah. Still giving some shorts. Oh, sure, there's also another person, Stevens. Okay. I was actually thinking of... No, I'll still use different voices for each different person, since we already talk a bit about which Schmitz, Gordon, and Morimoto. And for anybody, I'll just address their full name, like Pete Stevens. Pete Stevens, he on 2 separate occasions over a 2 period had said there's nothing we could do, just take her home and be prepared. She's going to die. And there's things to address whenever someone comes in. I'll just change the voice, and hopefully y'all follow along. Jeez. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but they weren't ready to give up. They found out about Morimoto's program in 2018, and after a few NeuroGrow sessions, Pam would be exhausted, like she had just finished a workout, but it was helping. Now, Pam didn't say much to me about our interview, but Pete says he started noticing improvements in her mental health before our interview. Pete mentioned that Pam was actually reading a book on cognitive behavior therapy. Wow, that's a really good sign. So that's a government-funded project. Are private companies getting into video game therapy as well? Yeah, let me tell you about one of them. There is Akili Interactive Labs, a very different organization with very different funding, developed a game called Endeavor RX. It looks more like a popular mobile game like Subway Surfers, or a game that's actually, supposed to be fun. Right. And the FDA actually gave Ender X their blessing. They classified it as something that could be used to treat inattention in children with ADHD. But there's also critics. Some scientists call it a marketing ploy. They say patients who play the game will only really get better at playing video games. Man, I can't even bring up my nose. They say patients who play the game will only really get better at playing video games like this, like Mario Kart. Here's how Eddie Martucci, CEO of Akili, responded to that criticism. Eddie Martucci: I think the reason their skepticism is people have been burned by them, like marketing gimmicks, especially in digital health and especially in neuroscience and areas like ADHD. There's been a lot of snake oil, and over time, skepticism has dramatically decreased as we continue to research and show data. So that makes sense, but where is it all going? Are we getting the point where you will see video games prescribed by a doctor? Well, theoretically, the FDA has already followed that from Endeavor X, the company behind his got hundreds of millions of new capital and merger. Dr. Maramoto's lab, again out of university, and is very different. They follow an academic path and near grow in an experimental therapy that's still only available to a few patients, but they've got a lot of government funding, a 7.5 million grant. So watch this space. It's very likely to keep growing. We will continue to watch. That's Keller Gordon, who contributed to NPR's video game coverage. Thank you so much, Keller. Thank you. Some but if FKJ's 2UI. Artist playing because this is a transcript of podcast. And yeah, comprising with the host, Keller Gordon, as person in the podcast. Yeah, well, it does show that even with other articles related to video games, some of it is related to podcasts and such. But yeah, they still did reviews about Horizon Forbidden West brings a personal saga to a primal post-apocalypse. And then, yeah, an article by bio articlists. AI is master Gran Turismo, and one autonomous car designer is taking note. And, a twist on a classic video game gives Native Americans better representation. And this is a transcript, from Anna King talking about the thing about video games. So it's way different scene when it comes to video games. AP talk really about the business financial side, and then NPR talks a lot more, yet it's not only just articles. And then it also does show how you could get your news from so many different places and so many different medias. YouTube, I get a lot of video game noise because of different videos that talk about video gaming and regular gaming news, daily, weekly, daily that long, yeah, weekly like Skill Up, and there's just so many other series that talk about it, especially when it comes to breaking news, like things that really impact people. So yeah, there's this one I have, which is Unity make a dogfight simulation for the Air Force Kill Chain branch. Through this show, there's a lot of articles I can go through, and I really love how they introduce the actual comment here, which is just fantastic. But anywho, I'll come back here since I left this off like last time and work around from there. Further ado, aloha.